Today I have a fragile delivery and I'm going to open and see what is it. So it seems it's very well packed, so I'll have to do another cutting. Okay, look what we have here. Is a PENTAX XW-10. Oh, finally. PENTAX PENTAX XW-series Eyepiece SMC PENTAX XW-10 7514. Okay, let's see what is it. Hey. Oh, that's the final countdown. I love these PENTAXes because, especially because of this bolt cases that come with. So now I have 3.5, 5, 7, and now the 10. Okay, let's open and see what is inside. That's the PENTAX eyepiece. Okay, I've disinfected it just to make sure that no coronavirus will pass to us. Because it looks a little bit wet. Okay, now that's a PENTAX. Lovely glass. And this side also beautiful. Okay, this is a PENTAX 10mm eyepiece. Let's see how the view looks like through this eyepiece. And that was the view through the PENTAX XW SMC 10mm eyepiece. The telescope I was using is my lovely Skywatcher ED80 Apochromatic Pro Series refractor telescope, and the eyepiece is this beautiful view, clear. Okay, I'm watching the transit of the shadow of the satellite Io on the face of the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is there somewhere. Oh yeah, here. And oh yeah, here. And the image, I used the 3.5mm PENTAX, and also Myriad, which is here, 2.5 again. But the image with this 10mm one is sharpest. I can see the dot of the shadow of the Io clearly. With those ones, it just spreads a little bit, and you can see the turbulence in the air sometimes. But this one is, most of the time, is sharper. Very good, very good. The details is amazing. I have a Delos 10mm, and I think this one compares very well with the Delos 10mm. The color is more natural. The Delos gives a little bit red purple tinge. This one is neutral color. The cloud bands and the shadow of the eye are so delicate but visible and clear, sharp, as if drawn by a very fine brush. When you look with this 3.5 in these conditions, it's like that, as if you are looking at a smudge most of the time. Sometimes it gets a little clear, but most of the time it's like a smudge. This one is beautiful. Oh, yeah, the sky background is completely dark with this, and then you see the planet a little bit lighter scatter around. Minimum, I must say that it's very minimal lighter scatter. Almost negligible. You will not notice it if you don't know it is there. And yeah, amazing, beautiful. Oh, I've not seen such a thing. Telling you something, it's laughable, but eyepieces have a smells up there on some of them. And this eyepiece has a nice rubber smell. It's rubber, but it's nice rubber smell. Kind of aromatic. Of course, you notice the smell because you put your eyes in the on the eyepiece, and then your nose is very close to this rubber, so you can smell it. You can at least see 10 different albedo features on the cloud tops of Jupiter with this eyepiece. Just a tiny dot, like a letter O, but you can see sharp on it, everything. In the north equator belt and lower than that toward the poles, you see a lot of details, and in south equator pole, which is a little bit more prominent, darker, you see the shadow of the eye moving there, and also some knots and festoons. And then toward the south pole you go, it just becomes, you know, not very clear, it's just uniform gray. Oh, I changed it to 3.5 because on 10 I could see a little tiny dot as if point of light appearing on the limb of the planet Jupiter, and I was not sure if it is true or not. I use with this, and I can see now that that dot is now moved a little bit. It can be a star, it can be one of the satellites, Galilean satellites, Galilean moons. So it's beautiful, and the weather is now settled. I can see clear with this. Unfortunately, the trees are now blocking the gradually. In a few minutes, I think they will block the planet. Okay, I'm now looking at the planet Saturn. The Jupiter went behind the trees and cannot see it anymore. But Saturn is now visible, and I was looking at it with this PENTAX 3.5, which is good. But this is more clear on this one. Brilliant. And surprise, when you look at a corner like this, it's sharper even. If you look at the middle, it's sharp, but you look at a corner like that, and it stays in the field of view for a long time. It's sharper. I'm looking at the planet Jupiter after spell and period of bad weather. The seeing immediately after bad weather is never good. You see a lot of turbulence in the air. But I'm trying two eyepieces which are 10mm. One of them is this PENTAX XW-10mm, and I've compared it on the Jupiter with this Teleview Delos 10mm. And I must say that I found the PENTAX 10mm sharper than this, slightly a tad sharper. This one immediately shows some of the features of the equatorial belt. This one also is very good, but under this condition and on this object, on my eyes, on this telescope, this is a Skywatcher Star Travel 102 achromatic refractor, so it has some chromatic aberration. This is sharper than this and more pleasant, the image. So Teleview Delos is a really superb eyepiece, but in this case PENTAX is a winner.